So step one in getting ready for your NACCAS candidate visit, a lot of y'all have virtual visits, but NACCAS will send you a spreadsheet. And basically, it's going to be a checklist. And that checklist is going to have section A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. And basically, you're going to have to fill out what I'm going to show you right now. So you want to download your ISS, like this school right here. So what we've done, we've downloaded their ISS, this school right here. And then we have a template for a virtual candidate visit. This template is already laid out. So basically, I'll start right here on, we'll just say B3, cross-reference institutional refund policy. So that's what it's asking for on B3. So I'll go to the school's ISS and I'll go to their refund. We're going to look for their refund policy to cross-reference, which is right here, 7.3. So I'll click on that and then I'll click on the pages. So the refund policy is, we're going to copy it right here from the school. So I'll copy it and I'm in Adobe Acrobat. Now I'm going to go to the template that the team had created and I'm going to go to B3. This is a template right here. All right, so B3, this is on page 15. We're going to click on the pages and it starts right here, 15. So I'm going to paste their refund policy from their ISS, which is right here. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to delete the template policy that we had set up. Okay, so if you look at it right here, there's a refund policy, as you can see. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to delete that. And this is the one that we had on the template set up. Okay, so basically what I'm going to do, I'll go right here. Remember, this is B3. We took it from his ISS. So I'm going to type B.3. Let me do that. So that's B.3. And then I'm going to copy this. I'm going to the bookmarks. I'm going to put the bookmark in, paste that. Now we got B3. But remember, we have a template set up. So with this template, I'm just going to put it in here. And I'm going to delete the old one. So if we look here, B2, B3. So that's basically how we do that. So I'm going to do this again for you so you can get a good understanding. Okay, now next is asking B4, cross-reference enrollment agreement. So what we're going to do, we're going to go to our NACCAS ISS, the original one. We're going to look for our cross-reference enrollment agreement, which is exhibit 4.8. Here's the cross-reference enrollment agreement. We're going to copy that. Now that we have it copied, we copied it in Adobe Acrobat. And now what we're going to do, we're going to go over here to the checklist. We'll click on that, which is B4. We'll go in here, and this is on page 19, which is right here. So we're going to paste from the ISS. We just pasted that. And now what we're going to do, we're going to delete the template that we have, that we're working from. And then guess what? Once this is deleted, we're going to click on the enrollment agreement checklist that we copied. We're going to make this B4. So that's B4. We're going to go to the bookmark. We're going to put the bookmark in, B4. And from here, we're going to put that right here. And we're going to delete that one. So now we check this B3, B4, okay? Enrollment agreement checklist. Now, what we're going to do next is B5, cross-reference catalog, all right? That's the next thing that we're going to do is a cross-reference catalog. Okay, so here's B4 from the template that the team had set up that you're going to use as a guide. And a lot of these consultants, they're here charging $500 to $1,000 to do this. So you can actually do it yourself for free. That's why I made this video. So go to your ISS and go to your enrollment agreement right here. Let's go to the enrollment agreement, cross-reference catalog, which is this. Starts on page 39. So we're going to click on the page. So here's 39 where it starts there. And this is the catalog. And the catalog goes all the way down to 59. So we're going to copy that. And we're going to go over here to B5, which is here. Cross-reference catalog. Starts right here on 23, which is right there. So we're actually going to click here, paste, and we're going to change this to what? B5, B.5. We're going to copy that, go to bookmark, create B5, and we're just going to copy this so we don't have to type the catalog cross-reference here, paste it, and we're going to delete the old one, which is there. And now what we're going to do, we're going to go in here and we are going to delete this catalog, the old one, okay, that we had set up. Because remember, we had this template set up so you all could easily follow it and know how to do it. So I'm deleting the old catalog template that we had in here set up for you to follow. So that's what we're doing right now. So we just deleted the old template. Now let's look at the catalog. So we'll go here, B5, cross-reference, and we will look at the catalog, cross-reference. Here's the catalog. We want to make sure we didn't have any of the old catalog in here that we use for our template. So we got that here, got that there. All right, so everything is there. So now the next thing is B6, policy on distance education. And if we look here, this school didn't have distance education, so we already got that there. B7, externship, not applicable, so they didn't have that. Instructor meeting policy. So we're going to go to their ISS. We're going to go to the instructor meeting. Let's look for the meeting, which is right here, Exhibit 2.7, instructor meeting minutes. And let's look at that. Instructor meeting policy. All right, so let's look over here to see the example that we had. All right, that's that. We see it right here. So let's go back here. We're going to copy this. And what we're copying is the instructor meeting policy, the minutes. Now we're back at our template, which is B8, page 46. So we'll go here. We'll paste that. We're going to change this to what? B number 8. So I'm going to copy this, make the bookmark. So we're going to put the bookmark in, paste that, B8, instructor meeting policy. So we're going to copy this, put that there. And we got to delete that, the B8. So now if we check this, look, Carolina Barber Institute and the old one. So we got to delete the old one, which is page 47 here. So I'll delete that. So now the next thing we have is B9, admissions policy. All right. So B9, admissions policy. So we're going to go here and we're going to get the admissions policy. Okay. So we're at our ISS right now, which is 4.1 is the admissions policy. And what I'm going to do here, I am just going to copy this. And then I'm going to go to the template where it has admissions policy. And I'm just going to paste that. And then I'll just type admissions policy. Okay. So that was easy how we did that. So that's already done. So now what we got to do, we got to go to B10 transfer policy. So we'll keep moving on. Okay, so now B9 admissions policy, we just did that, which was right here. So now we're at B10 transfer policy. So we're going to go to our original ISS transfer policy. So we'll just take this, since we already got the template, and go over here, and we're going to go to transfer policy. And we can just do this. All right, so that's done. And we've got that. Now let's go to B11, reentry policy. So we're going to go to our original ISS, and we're going to look for reentry policy. Okay, so just go to your ISS and go on each one of these to see where do we have the reentry policy. Okay, so that's transfer policy. Reentry policy, we can always find in our catalog. So if we go to our catalog right here and scroll down, because all of your policies are in your catalog. And right now what we're doing, we're looking for reentry policy, which is right here, reentry procedure. Okay, and we want to see if that matches up over here. I think they got the same one. So let's look here. Yep, they got the same one. So we're good. So that's B 11, what we just looked at. See? Now B12, ability to benefit. A lot of schools don't have ability to benefit, so we put that in A, not applicable. B13, internal grievance policy. So now what we got to do, we got to go over here. Remember, where did I tell you all the policies were? All the policies are in your catalog. Grievance policy. So we will highlight that, copy, go over here, put it right here. We're going to paste it. And it was the same policy. All right. Now, next thing, what we're going to do. B14, academic advising policy. Okay. So academic advising policy, as we can see, we already see what it looks like. You see that? You see what it looks like? Academic progress evaluations. So let's go to our catalog. We go into the catalog over here, and we want to look for academic. Look, it's this page right here, number 52. So all we're going to do is go here, go to 52. We're going to copy that page. We're going to go over here. This is actually 52 on that page too. Let's see, it's 52 over there. It's real strange, but that's fine. So B14, go there, 52 right here. We're going to click here, and what we're going to do, we're going to paste that page. All right. So we just copied it from our ISS. Now what we're going to do, we're going to paste it, and that's B14. Okay, so we got to put B14. I just typed B14 on here. And what we're going to do when it populates, let's see, we're going to copy it. So here, all right, so I'm going to make that bold, and then I'm going to copy it. Made it bold, copy. And then what we're going to do, we're going to look at the bookmark there, paste, hit enter, and copy this, the old one, paste, hit enter, and we got to delete the old one, which is right above it, which is right here. Okay, so we're deleting that. And what we're going to do, we're going to check that. So we'll click on this, and then we're going to click on B14 to make sure, okay, it worked. So now what we want to do here, since we've been making all these changes, we want to save it just in case our computer died or went out or whatever. We are at least saving this. So now we're on B15, attendance policies. So let's see the example, because you might not even know what attendance policy looks like, although you already have it in your catalog. So let's click on attendance policy. Okay, attendance progress evaluations. So now if we go here, we're going to look for attendance progress evaluations. All right. Attendance progress evaluations. We see academic progress evaluations. So now what we want to look for is attendance. So let's go back and find, here it is right here, attendance progress evaluations. So we can highlight this, copy it, go over to our template, and we can paste it right here. So we just copied it from our catalog and we just pasted it right here. All right, let me delete that because I got this twice. I'm gonna highlight that, delete that. Okay, so we're good. So now what we've done, we've just completed section B. And section A is just a matter of having the current student list, which is this. I'll show you all what that looks like on your current student list, but you should already have a template for your current student list and your graduate list. See, this here is a current student list, graduate list the last 12 months, withdrawal list the past 12 months. They didn't have any withdrawals. So that's how you do that. So now we're moving on to C, okay? State regulations governing institutions, facilities, equipment. All right, so that's C1. So that's what we're going to do next. All right. Okay, so now we're on section C, state regulations. So we're going to go to our original ISS, and if we go to exhibit 3.2, that's state regulations. All right, so let's go there. We're going to copy the pages, starts on 29 and 30, copy that. Let's go to our template. And we're going to go to C1, which is right here. Let's go to that page, which is on page 55. And we know it goes right here. So what we're going to do is paste it. And we're going to put C1 on there. All right. So now let's go down here to C1. All right, so change this because we took this exhibit from our ISS. Change this to C.1. That's what we're doing. And then what we're going to do, we're going to copy this and we're going to put the bookmark in. Put the bookmark right here, paste it. So that's C1. All right. Now we don't want to type all of that stuff in. That's why we just go here and copy that. And then we'll just go here and paste it. So we don't have to do all that typing, just delete that. Now we got C1. Okay. Starts on page 57. Right here. All right. So now what we got to do, we have to find C1. Okay, so C1, what we copied starts on page 55, 56, and right here is the old one. So we got to delete that. Click on all these. Okay. So now, definitely got to take them off. Okay, so now we'll delete the C1. And then the next thing, C2, state regulations governing curriculum. So we go here, C2. Let's see what that looks like. All right, that's C2. And that starts on 58. All right, so what we're going to do, we are going to go to our original ISS, but we need to make sure that we deleted everything from, okay, so we got to delete that from the old C1. All right, so we got that. Make sure C1, C1. All right, so here it is. Those are the C1s. So we actually got to delete this because this is from the old one. So we got to delete page 57, which is right here, because that was from the old template. All right, so let's delete this out. Okay, so now we're at C2. C2, state regulations governing curriculum. So we got to go to our ISS and we need to find that state regulations that's governing the curriculum. So let's go down, scroll down until we see that. And it is probably going to be somewhere over here, right here. It's going to be exhibit 6.5. So click on that, page 105. And we're going to have to copy that. So we go here. And we're on our original ISS right now that we submitted to NACCAS, okay? That's where we're at. So we'll look at 105. That's what we're going to look at. Okay, so we're on C2. So if we go to C2, that's on page 57. And that's state regulations governing curriculum, which is right here, okay? So we know that that is several pages. Quite a few pages, the old one. And what we're going to do, we're going to delete that. That's the old one. And we're going to copy the new one, starting after page 56. We see that right here. So we'll go to 56 and paste. So we know that's C2. Go down to 56. Right here. Okay, we're going to change this to C2. All right, so C.2, change that. And then the next thing we're going to do, we got to create the bookmark to make sure that's working properly. All right. So C.2. And once that comes up, there it is. We got to copy this, create the bookmark, which is right here. Paste, enter. And then, of course, we got to take those words, put them right here. And then we got to delete the top one. That's that. C1, C2. Now, C3. They do the NACCAS refund policy, so that's NA. So now we're going down to D1. Continuing education plan, same one, so we don't have to do anything. D2, list of all currently employed instructors. All right, so basically we got to put his name of the currently employed instructors. Now, how we gonna find that? Let's go over here, go to their catalog. And when we look in the catalog, it's gonna tell us the names of the instructors. Let's go to the catalog right here. Roger Littlejohn. So we're gonna go back over here, put his name. So that's done. Okay, now we just had D2. Now we gotta do D3. And we gotta put their license and their evaluations and their continuing education documents. That's what we gotta do. Okay, so the first thing we need is their license. So we go over here to our ISS. We're going to go to Exhibit 2-1, and we're going to get that license. All right, so we know that that is page 18. So we go here, page 18, copy that, go back over here, and we got to go here, which is page 65. So go here, right here, 65, insert paste. And we know that that is going to be D.3A. Okay. So D.3A. We know we got to delete the former persons because we'd use this as a template. So let's delete that. And then we want to put on his D.3A. So D.3A. Copy. Let's look at the bookmark right here. Paste. D.3A. Let's make this copy. So we don't have to retype that. Paste it. Delete this. Okay, now D.3A. And then next, D.3B, performance evaluation. Let's go to the ISS. Let's look for employee evaluation, which is right here, page 23. So we're going to go here, page 23, copy that. And now what we're going to do, we're going to go back over here. And after page 65, we'll paste that, which is here. And we know that this is D.3B, D.3B. Okay, copy that. Go here, paste it. D.3B, performance, here, that, enter, delete that. So we know we got to delete those other people, which is that. And then this is an old one, D.3B. Then certificates, D.3C. So let's go here. We got to get their continuing education certificate, which is this one right here. Copy that. Go over here. D.3C. So let's go back to that. D.3C, which is here. So that's going to be D.3C. Copy this. Go over here. Do the bookmark. Enter. Copy that. Right here. All right. D.3B, D.3C. Plan for substitute instructor, which is D right here. All right. So now if we go here, plan for substitute instructor, we can go in their exhibit and we can read it. We'll look for, we'll go to instructional staff. And if we go down here, it's going to tell us their plan for instructors right here. List of instructors below, explain how instructors ensure substitute, all of that. So we will look here and we'll make a copy of this right here. Well, actually, it'll be here, the policy for substitute instructors 2.5. So we go here 2.5. And we make this copy right here. Then we go back over here. Plan for substitutes. Paste it. Now, we're on D, that was D4. Now we're on D5. So D5 is list of substitutes and correspondence, license, and credentials. Okay, list of substitutes. So right here, D5, we got to put a blank in here because currently we don't have any substitutes. All right. So we will let them know that currently we do not have any substitutes. So that's D5, which is page 69. So we got to put a blank page here and let NACCAS know that. Okay. So scroll down to where we were, which is here. And we'll go D.5. And then we'll let NACCAS know we do not have any substitute instructors at the moment. Okay, so that's D5. And we'll go here, paste it, do that, and then we still got to put this wording in there. And we got to delete that old instructor out from the previous template. So we delete that. And then here, we got to delete him out because this is just the template, the guide that we're going by. All right. So that's D5. Instructor meeting minutes for the most recent 12 months. So we got to go to ISS. Instructor meeting minutes. We got that. Page 20 right here. So we go to page 20. Here. Copy it. Go here. Go here. Instructor meeting minutes. When we click on that, that's D6, which is page 70. So we go to page 70. There. All right. And we got a label. Go down to D6, which is here. And we got to put the name on it. We just took this from our ISS D.6. We labeled that, copied it. We got to make the bookmark, D6, there, enter, this, there, copy that, paste it, delete this D6. Okay, and then the old template school, we got to delete that one. Now we got that one. Now that was D6. D7, verification of distance education. We go here. They don't have distance education, so that's NA. So now we're moving on to section E, access to the institution's catalog. So that's going to be E1, going down. E1, 2, 3, 4, they're the same. So which is going to be the documentation. All right. And we'll give them an example of that, which is the pre-enrollment receipt. And that's what it is right here, pre-enrollment receipt of information. So what we got to do here is go over here and get the pre-enrollment receipt of orientation. So we are looking in our, okay, student orientation checklist, pre-orientation, receipt of information. So that's page 61. So what we're gonna have to do is copy this. So go to page 61, copy that. Now we're going back to our template, which is on page 72. And we will paste this. All right. And that is E1, 2, 3, and 4. All right. So now let's go. Put it on here, which is right here. E1, 2, 3, and 4. All right, so here we go. Add it. E1, E.1. What else? E.2, E.3, E.4. All right, copy. Do the bookmark, which is right here. Paste it. Do this. Copy. Paste. Enter. Here. Delete. All right, so now if we do that, D7. All right, now make sure we deleted everything. So we got that. The old template right here, we got to delete that out. Okay, so now the next thing, E5, 6, 7, and 8 are NA. All right, so now on the new one is actually E5, 6, 7, and 8. All right, so we can leave that there. Now the next one is going to be E9, documentation showing that students received the information required pre-enrollment information. So now we got E9. We got something new. So here, well, we got E5 rationale. If we look at E5, which is rationale for programs that exceed the length, that's NA. But we do have a E9, which is going to be on page 74. So we look right here. We're going to have a E9, documentation show that students have received that information, which is pre-enrollment. All right, so if we go here, now we go up here, and we'll pull both of these. Boom, boom. Copy that. Go here, and right here, paste it, and that's going to be E9. All right, so here, make this E.9, copy that, and then we got to do the bookmark, and right here is going to be paste E9. Now, E9 is, we got to type this in, what that is. E9 is documentation show that students receive the AFOREMEN required pre-enrollment information. All right, so that's E9. All right, so now, but E5. We got E5, 6, 7, and 8. E5, E5, 6, 7, and 8 are NA. So this is what we're going to do. This, and we're going to do this. Paste. All right. That's what we got for that. And then we're going to delete that part right there. So here, then we got E9. Okay. Now we're going on to F. Now, F, we're going to talk about the course and program outlines for each course. That's F1, which is right here. So what we got to do is go over here, and we got to look at the course program outlines. So let's go on down here to curriculum, right here. All right. Right here is the curriculum. So let's go to V.5. All right. And then we got to copy that point. So we're going to copy this. All right. Copy. Then we got to go over here, course outline, which is going to start on page 76. So if we go here to page 76, which is right here. So we're going to delete them out. These are all their old course outlines. So we'll start at 75. We're going to copy and paste. And that's going to be F1. Okay. So what we're going to do now, we're going to copy and paste right here. And that's going to be F1. So change this to F.1. All right. Paste that. Copy. Paste. And that's F1. Okay. So we got that. Now the next thing, F2, samples of lesson plans. Let's go here. They got samples of lesson plans going to start on, it is going to start on page 78. All right. Going to start on page 78. So we got to delete the old sample lesson plans. But this is actually a lesson plan that we could keep right here. Let's see how many lessons. He only has one program. So if he got one program, he has one lesson plan. He got one lesson plan, one program. So we can just go here. This is a lesson plan right here. And then let's see, that. Yep. And then a new lesson plan starts there, but he don't need those. So what we're going to do is delete these other programs, because this particular school only has one program. But this example school that we did with the template, we put like they had a bunch of different programs. So that's why we got all these lesson plans in here. So what we will do is delete those. And so we're deleting that. And so we will have F2 sample lesson plan for each course. So let's go here, F1, F2 sample lesson plan. So we'll look that up, sample lesson plan. That's good. All right, so now we got F3 examples of written practical tests. So we'll go here and we will look up the practical test. So we're going to the original ISS right now. That's where we at, the original ISS. All right, now let's look at practical tests right here, practical grades. All right, example. So we'll take this one, page 144, and we will put that in there. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna copy this. We copy this example practical test, and then we're going over to our template. And this is gonna be F3. This will be F3. So we'll put the example practical test here, and then we're gonna change this to what? F.3. And then we're gonna copy that F.3, and then what we're gonna do, we're gonna make a bookmark, okay? So here, paste it, hit enter, and then we're gonna copy that, paste it here. All right. Now, the next thing we're gonna do is completed forms and practical grading criteria for evaluating students. Example of written and practical tests. All right, completed forms and practical grading criteria. So F4. All right, here we go. We're gonna start on that. Now, examples of written and practical tests is actually F3. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna go right after 91, and we're gonna put examples of written and practical tests. So that's F3. This is actually F3 right here. F3. So we're gonna type in F.3. All right, so we got F3 right here. And we got to make the bookmark. But this is actually F3. And I'll show you all what F4 is. All right, so we're looking for F3, which is that. Now, we got to go to F4. F4 is actually a completed form of practical grade. So we got to have a practical grade that's completed. So that's what we're going to do. And I'm going to scroll down and show you exactly what F4 is. Show you exactly what F4 is. So this is actually F4. Let's go back. Click on it. This is F4. All right, so we're gonna highlight this F4, then bookmark it, paste, like we've been doing. Examples of written practical tests, copy that, paste it here, and delete that. There's actually, no, F2, F3, this is F4. So change that to a 4. Then we'll delete that. So F3, F4. Okay, so now we're on G1, the state license. So we got to come over to the original ISS and get a copy of their school license, which is here. All right, copy this page. And we got to go back over here. Page 97, right here, paste. And that's going to be G1. So we got to change this to G.1. Do the bookmark right here. Then we're going to copy this. And paste it. Delete the old bookmark. And then we got to delete the old license. That was an example. So now we're going to G2. The E-car eligibility certification approval report. You don't have to do that, the E-car, because you're not getting financial aid. So that's actually NA. Okay. And they should have it on here. Yeah. See, move that up. That's actually NA. Now we got G3 advisory committee roster. So we got to go over here to our original ISS, go to advisory members. That's page 6. So copy that. And here, advisory committee, paste, and that's going to be G3. So we're going to change this to G.3. Put the bookmark in, paste it as G3. We're going to copy this, paste it right there, hit enter, delete the old bookmark, and then we need to make sure. So we got that. This one is the old one, so we got to delete that old example. So we got this. Now next, G4, advisory committee meeting minutes. So we got to go over here, get the meeting minutes. This is when they had the meeting minutes. And we got to copy this, copy, go over here. After 100, paste. And we know this is G what? G.4. So we got to highlight that. Go to the bookmark, paste, G4, enter, advisory committee, copy, put that there, G4, enter, delete the old one, and then we got to delete the old advisory 102, which is right here, the old template. Okay, so now we're at G5, current student, summary of feedback from current students, graduates, and advisory committee. All right. So now we got to go over here and we got to get the current student surveys, which is here, there, there. So this is what we'll do. All right. So we'll go here. We got to get the current student. All right. Graduates. And this. All right. So now we'll go over here, and this is going to be G5. It's going to be up to 101. So we're going to delete all this stuff. Delete from the previous template. All right, so G5 is going to be here. Paste. We didn't need the instructor because it didn't ask us for the instructor, so we delete that. All right, so we know this is G5. So we're going to go right here. We're going to change this to G.5. All right, go here, enter. G5. All right, G6. Go here, G5. Now G6 is right here. All right, we already got that, the wording. G7, improvement plan if applicable. So it's G6, G7, we got the improvement plan. Now we got G8, institutions operating policies and procedures. All right, we got that. G9, privacy and release, we already have that. G10, articulation agreement. 9. Okay, G9. And we need the form. So we got to go over here and get the privacy release form. So we're going to scroll through. We're looking for the release form. Scroll down. We're looking for the release form. So, all right, so here, let's see if they got the release form. We'll just change this name to Carol Line. All right, so we got the release form, and that is, what is this? G9. So now we're at G10. Is NA. G11, training agreements. We ain't got no training agreements. G12, professional assistance and policy. All right, so advising and counseling. So we have to go to the catalog. Let's go to their catalog. And we got to look up their policy on professional assistance. So what we're doing, we're looking up G12, professional assistance, referral policy or procedure. All right, so catalog right here, scroll down. Looking for professional assistance. That policy, okay, here it is right here, advising. There it is right there, copy. Come back over here. Put that right here, paste. That's done. Highlight that. Make this bold. That's G12, G13, graduation requirements. So we're looking in the catalog. There it is right here, graduation requirements. All right, so we go over here to G13. Where we at? 12, G13, graduation requirements. Copy and paste it here. That's done. G14, publish annual report outcome rates. This school hasn't been opened. They just going through, so that's NA. They don't have any rates yet. Hey, all right. Now, examples of advertising. That's going to be G15. So let's go over here and let's look at the examples of advertising. So we got to go over here, example refunds, resume, cross-reference. We're looking for examples of advertisement, which is exhibit 3.8. And this is page 31. So what we're going to do, we're going to copy this right here. Then we're going to go over here to the advertisement, which is probably 117 paste. And that is going to be G15. So go here, G15. Turn that to G.15. Copy. We got to make the bookmark. Paste. Enter. Copy this. So we don't have to type all that in. Paste it. Enter. Delete the old bookmark. And we got to delete the old example template. Okay, that's G15. G16, orientation information provided to students. Orientation information provided to students. That's going to be curriculum and the orientation receipt, pre-orientation receipt. So now, so what we're going to do here, we're going to delete all of that and we'll put it in. So here, take this out. And all right, so at 117, so now what we got to do is get the orientation information. So we'll go here, orientation components, which is right here. Okay. This is orientation components. So we will pull this out, orientation components. And I'm going to copy this here. And probably this one. Yeah, orientation components. Go back over here. And the orientation components, that is orientation information provided to students. That's going to be G, let's see, that was G15. So it's going to be G16. So this is G.16. Copy that. And then we got to do the bookmark here. And then we got to paste it. Delete the old bookmark. Okay. And the catalog is provided also. So we're going to put the catalog in there. On G16, so we put the catalog in and the pre-orientation receipt and the orientation checklist. G17, evidence students were provided with access to orientation before the first day of class. That's the new student orientation checklist and the orientation receipt of information. And that is actually G17. So right here, G17, bookmark. We're going to go, so I'll show you how to do the bookmark for the 1,000th time here. G17, enter. And then we're going to copy this, the wording. Copy. Paste. Delete the old bookmark. We've already deleted the old wording. So that's G17. G18, employment assistance provided to students and graduates. We already got that in there. Okay, and then G19, documentation showing institution is responsible for distance education. That is NA. Okay, so now that's everything done for that. They're also going to ask for copies of student files, which would be the enrollment agreement, student payment ledger card, admissions documentation, any state board registration forms, the hours, the SAPs, but you have a checklist for that. But this is the main thing that you need to know how to do. And if you have any questions, reach out to millionairebarber@gmail.com or go to millionairebarber.com or text 615-496-3977 and text school 615-496-3977 if you need any assistance or our team to do anything to help you or answer any questions that you may have. Thank you.